Hello everyone, welcome to my channel today. If you're new, my name is Emily. I am so glad you are here today. I created Definite Hearing as a way to increase awareness for the deaf and hard of hearing. If you're new, I am hard of hearing. I have a bilateral, moderate to severe sensory neural hearing loss. I wear hearing aids and boy, do I love them. They don't fix all of my problems, but they certainly help. And today I'm going to share a little bit about my most recent experience at Cafe Rio. So as we all know, we've been dealing with coronavirus and shutdowns for about a year now, and it has changed life as we know it. I personally don't think that we will ever go back to like normal. I think that things that have been implemented due to COVID will stay in place long after COVID has either like kind of faded out or been eradicated or we've all been vaccinated. But I do have to say that COVID has definitely helped in terms of increasing awareness for the deaf and hard of hearing. In terms of the fact that masks have helped hearing people realize that, wow, it is really hard to understand what people are saying when their mouths are covered because I can't hear them. Well, they have sympathy for us hard of hearing and deaf people because they imagine, wow, what if I didn't have hearing at all? It would be hard to function, and it is difficult to function, but we make do. And so it has been nice to have kind of the whole general hearing population realize that, wow, there is a minority but significant amount of our population that deals with this on a daily basis, even without coronavirus and without masks. And so that is one thing I've really appreciated, although I do think that we can do a better job of really harnessing this era of awareness. And so my recent experience at Cafe Rio kind of like helped me think more about this. So for those of you who don't know, Cafe Rio is a, I would say like Mexican style restaurant, and it's got a layout like Subway. So you go in, you decide what you want, and then you go down kind of the buffet line, and the server will make your food to order based on kind of like the top item that you picked. So my husband and I, we go to Cafe Rio. We're happy to be there. I've been to Cafe Rio many times, but I haven't been since like the pandemic. And so dealing with masks plus the glass, and then they installed an additional plexiglass to protect the food, it was like triple layer extra hard to hear. And so I found myself really relying on pointing and nodding because I just couldn't hear what they were saying. So I was just anticipating like, okay, I want a flour tortilla. So I would say flour tortilla, and they'd get that. And then I would anticipate like, okay, rice, I want white rice and black beans. And I would just kind of go down the row. But even when I said I didn't want the chips, I still got the chips, like shredded tortilla chips on top. So it was just interesting because I knew that I wasn't the only one having difficulty hearing. The person who was serving me was also having difficulty hearing. In addition to them trying to do their job, trying to do it well, trying to understand what I'm saying, and then worrying about the 50 other people. It wasn't 50, it was like 2, because of course it's coronavirus. I was like being dramatic there, but like the other people that are in line and trying to keep all of the orders straight, you know? So I just realized like, hey, yes, we installed these plexiglasses for safety reasons, but why are we not getting smart in terms of communication? This is a real pain point here that like, yes, I'm hard of hearing, but like everyone's having difficulty hearing. So why are we not recognizing that and like making efforts to change that? So I thought of a few things that Cafe Rio and other restaurants or services or stores could implement to make their environments more friendly for really everyone. Number one, Cafe Rio could easily install a transparent menu sticker on their plexiglass. It could be like down low so you can still see it, but it's not blocking your view of the food. I mean, maybe it does block your view of the food, but you can see through it. But it essentially would have the layout that the workers have of the food. And so you can point to what you want. And there's no getting wrong, no guessing, but you just like point to the one that you want. Like that just seems so great. I don't know. Another thing that I thought is having a printed list of yes or no questions. So the employee could like point to the question, you know, what would you like today? And then you can point to your menu item. Would you like a flour or wheat tortilla? you point to the flower or wheat. You know, it just seems like it's already difficult to hear with these plexi glasses and masks. We can make sound more visual. Another thing that I thought of was a menu card. You essentially could take your phone, scan their menu, and then you could circle what you wanted, and then either you go through line and show them what you want, or you just sit at the table and it automatically makes like your order for you and they bring it out to you, or they like send a number saying that like order 304 for Emily is ready. You know, it just seems like in this tech savvy world, it just seems like we can make that happen. And last but not least, I just thought, you know, everyone has smart devices now. Tablets are super cheap. iPads cost a little bit more, but why don't we get those and download like smart transcription apps on them that just transcribes what people are saying? It doesn't even have to transcribe what people are saying, but it could just anticipate what the employee would say and say, do you want a flour or wheat tortilla? And you can either respond back by hitting a button, or you can respond back by saying it, and it will verbally like accept your cue and say, is this right? Yes. Because we already do that right now with phone trees. Like when you call and they say, I can see that you're Emily, you're calling from this number. There's a wait line. Would you like us to call you back? Yes or no? Yes. AI is so smart, and it seems like we're in this COVID world and the world's really never gonna go back to being the same, but why don't we unleash like the experience that we've had, and why don't we learn from that? That was kind of something I learned was, wow, you know what, everyone's struggling with this. Let's just make this better, more accessible, easier to use. Now, some people might say, why would we implement transparent stickers or like papers or apps or iPads when COVID will go away? Yes, life will change and it'll go back to normal, but like, why don't we just put these things into place so that like the world is more accessible when we get back to normal? It just makes sense to me. But then again, I'm just one person and we've got to help and uplift everyone. There are some ideas. I would love to hear, what do you think about those ideas? Which idea do you think would be easiest to implement, most beneficial to implement? And do you have other ideas that you would include for restaurants or services to implement to make your experience, whether as a hearing or hard of hearing person or deaf person, easier? I would love to hear in the comments below. I'm really hoping we can get some traction on this, so definitely share it with your friends and family members. And if you haven't already, please like this video and subscribe to my channel. I look forward to making more great content and making the world more accessible for everyone, including the deaf and hard of hearing. Have a great day. Bye.